Welcome back to my channel. What's up, everybody? Okay, so this video is going to be an update on my 2022, where I'm at, what my thoughts are. I'm getting my mic ready, so give me a moment, literally a second in your world, and we'll get right into it. Hi, how are you? I hope all is well. Things are going great. I'm trying to talk a little softer because I am on a mic. And it's kind of nice not having to pretty much yell. You see my cord. No, I don't have wireless earbuds. The times I've tried them, they have annoyed me more than helped me. So there's that. So let's hope that this works out without y'all seeing my wire. But hey, I hope everyone's doing well. I haven't been posting as much, and I swear, I feel like I say this every time I come on here, but it's true. I haven't even stuck to my weekly. I don't think. I'll have to double check, but I'm not even keeping track of that right now because we're about to go into a new system. Next week is when I'll start my new planner, but yeah, it's been busy. When you work in the school system, it's always going to be a bit busier than most. Everyone is, I see all these posts about having their kids home for 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, we've had your kids all year and we're ready to let them go, but it doesn't change the fact that not only do we have everyone else's kids all year, we then have our children at home. So I'm thankful for the time with family because I don't get to give my family as much attention as they deserve and need because I am taking care and using my energy up for other people's children and their needs. So with that being said, happy holidays, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of y'all's planning systems. I definitely have had to think about mine pretty much consistently and really get down to the nitty-gritty, and I really believe that my 2021 was jumping around a lot due to trying to search for what works best for me and where my heart is in planning, because my 2022 objective is to stay in one planner. My major planning to stay in one size, one planner for the year. Now, if I want to branch out into different planners, but my main planning, I'd really like to stay in one place because I did find myself having to repeat information. I'm losing some information. I can't fit. I just have to be honest with myself. I always said, well, I don't really lose much information. I don't lose much, but I lose something. There's something I always lose when I'm switching planners, whether it's a date or a time or something like that. But let me get into it. I'm going to try. This is going to be a long one, so, get yourself prepped, get a drink, whatever it is you do to relax, get your planners out, plan while I talk, whatever. Okay, so let's get into this. So I will go ahead and start this video out by saying I love rings, but my heart is not in rings like they used to be. Recently, I've been using rings. I switched to a standard TN to give that size a try because I've always loved journaling in a standard size, but I will say that that's what it's going to stay as. It's going to be strictly spiritual, just journaling notes, that kind of thing. I don't think I like it as a planner per se. I do like it as a planner. I'll give you a flip of how I used it, like when I was using it. But it started here. So I've been using it for about 3 weeks. I really like the size as in space, I guess. But if you look, I don't truly need all the space. I do love the width of it. It's a lot of fun. But again, I don't necessarily need all of the space for personal stuff. I do like that I could put a full sheet of paper, Tome River paper, as a pull out in here. Well, it's close to a full sheet. It's not. It's a little shorter. But I liked having that kind of option, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually have a Moterm cover, which is nice, and I have some other teen covers, but I actually ended up taking out the Stalogy and just using that because I preferred the slimness of that. I'm starting to also find that when it comes to my bigger books, I'm liking the more slimmer options when it comes to larger books. Not saying this is slim by any means, of course, but I even got this to hold my pages down, which will still come in handy. I'll share with you how I'm going to use that, but I ended up using just a hack for those that don't have a lot of money and want to cut down their Stalogy to A5 Stalogy to a standard. You can still do that, and if you want a plastic cover, those plastic Midori covers that come off Amazon that are fairly cheap, get one of those. I literally slipped the booklet into the back of the straight pocket and used the zip and took off the little thing in the front. So now I have a proper cover and protection for my notebook, and it's still super slim. You can add a pin loop, you can add papers, it doesn't matter. I have pictures of my daughter and I, and then stickers in the back, and then just some deco for Christmas front and back. This reminds me of my family, my husband and I, and then my daughter. So that's why I kept it. I'll probably leave it in there, to be honest with you. So this is not going to be a 2022 situation. It will be a journal. Like I mentioned, it's probably going to be my spiritual journal at times. I have a cat on my shoulder. I apologize. But let's get into where we go next. Now, okay, wait, real quick. I'm also learning that as much as I like the idea of a TN, please get down, kitty. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to shut my door. As much as I like the idea of a actual full-blown TN, I don't absolutely love it. And I say that and wait until you see my 2022, but I just don't absolutely love it. I don't like how the smaller booklets like stick up like this. And it's just not my favorite. And but the most consistent need that I've found myself wanting throughout the entire year, stayed very consistent, is a full year of monthly and weeklies together. So I knew that that's something that I absolutely have to have, and I also have learned that I want it in a portable size. Having it in a big size like this was not fitting me well. It was more of a struggle to pull out standard size on the go. I love having my planner with me even when I go shopping. So having a bigger planner is not an option for me this year as like my everyday carry. Okay. I want something that I can carry with me everywhere all the time, no matter the size of my purse. I don't really go too small in bags. The smallest I have is probably about this big. So keep that in mind. And then so what I decided to do, this before I had these, let me move these out of the way. So I moved into a pen sleeve again, which even my utensils have changed a bit, because when your planner changes, your utensils change, your pens and stuff may change. So I went into my pocket moleskin. I have a bunch of moleskins on hand. That's something you guys may not know about me, is I collect moleskins. I love them, and I like to collect them when I find them at a decent price because they are expensive. Now, yes, when I show you my 2022, I did pay full price for those, but you'll see in a second. So I went ahead and went into this because I've used pocket size notebooks before, and I've always loved them. Thought they were so cute and convenient. You can literally throw them around. They're totally fine, but I still wanted that full year, full weekly. So I pulled out my Filofax Compact, and lo and behold, both of these fit in my purse perfectly. My new little Christmas bag that I haven't done a video yet because I haven't quite figured it out. And this matches like the whole theme I had going. And it's actually been a lot of fun to play with this size or this notebook. So I just pulled out the things I needed from my rings, which were the monthlies and the weeklies and some blank pages for notes and lists and stuff, because yeah, that's another consistent item I've also recognized I needed was to have a reference book that was portable enough to take with me everywhere. That is something I said I needed, but that may change as well. I'll get into that also in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. So I've actually decided against the compact size for now. I really like it, but I am honest. Let me not say honestly. I'm going to stray from rings for a while. I love rings. If I go back to rings, I'd like to set up this compact size like on point, like really pretty and perfect. I really want to do that because I have been enjoying using these tabs and then sticking them into my weeklies as needed. Let me see if I can find an example. It keeps going away. It's been a while. Yeah, like this. Like this is this week. So, I've been enjoying that. Like, for example, these are some cleaning tabs. These are some old ones. I've used the system many, many times with the tabs before, and I really like them. These are actually pretty old. You can tell because I used a white. I think that was from last year, to be honest with you. These guys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. These were from last year because I actually pulled them out of my Pocket TN setup. My chunky one, y'all haven't seen. But I put all this stuff away, so I can't show it to you now. But I've used Pocket in the past and TN, and it didn't stay in it too long, but I had these set up in there. These are the more recent ones. I'm going to be moving these over to what I'm using. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love using my Summer's Touch inserts, and I'm still going to be using some of her inserts, but in a bound book. So just because someone doesn't use rings does not mean you can't use all the fun inserts, you guys. You can literally cut and paste them into your system. So let's get into it. So I decided to use this in the compact. I'm going to share this with you. Some of it's changed because I've moved some things. So I just set it up as such. I tipped in a couple of things that I made, and I just put dailies. I'm preparing myself for what my 2022 system is going to be because I sat and thought about it. I did some research. Unfortunately, I couldn't find many videos on what I wanted to do with my system. I did find a couple which were very, very helpful. So thanks to y'all that are into Moleskines. But if you follow me, you know that I'm most comfortable in a bullet journal. Just a bullet system, nothing fancy, just simply writing. I'm the most comfortable with that. I'm probably at my happiest when I'm able to do that. It's just I need some structure when it comes to my actual planning. And that's what I love about rings is that there's a lot of structure and sections. But even this past go around when I was using rings, I didn't appreciate the sections as much as I used to. I even ended up condensing it down to like 3 or 4 sections, which are still what I'm now realizing is the most consistent in my planning system is the full year of monthly weeklies. I really want that. And then dailies and notes, that's all I need. I don't really need an inbox system. I use Post-it notes. If you'll give me a moment, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me bring you guys in a bit because you can see my wire. All right, here we go. So yes. Where was I? Yeah, so I set up some dailies. Sorry, I just ran from one end of the house to the other. Whew, not that my house is large, but I got some sinus issues right now due to the weather. Where we live, our weather goes from 80 degrees to 30 degrees and overnight. So it's kind of crazy. Anyway, so this is today. Today I just did a normal task list. You'll see my dailies stay fairly similar with the whole timed and everything. But I went ahead and planned out the days. And then I put another little tip in here. And then I forgot about my tracking, so I added some tracking. This is sleep, mood, positive of the day, and then hydration, and then happy tracking. So, and then a list. And then this is this week's tracking, but I believe I'm moving this, and I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, I haven't really kept up with it yesterday or today. I even realized I forgot to put my hydration and stuff. So anyway, this is what I did for this week. Just drew it out. This is my transition notebook for right now from 2021 to 2022. This is the size I'm going into, just so you know. Some notes, Post-it a teacher gave me, and then some more just because I like to plan ahead. There's some weeks here into January. But I won't need that. But I went ahead and did it so I could plan ahead because I didn't have my notebooks yet. A brain dump and then some journaling and stuff like that. So I really like gratitude journaling, all that other stuff that I like to write and track. I've been putting in here and using fountain pens. So I'm back into my fountain pens, which I really appreciate. So that's what I have here. And then in the back, I've got some like notes and lists and stuff. And then you'll see a pen test. And then there's nothing special about this. I even have my bullet key color code and like my dots back here. So that's what I've been using for a couple weeks now, I believe. Yeah. Well, this is going on the second week. I've been enjoying it. It's worked well. I will say I miss having that structured monthly and weekly that I showed you in my compact. So let's get into what I'm doing for 2022. There. So I've thought about this, pondered, tried things out for 2021. That's what I was truly doing. Also, another reason why I didn't post too many videos about my planning system, because I was so unsure of what I really wanted to do, and I was trying to figure out what I liked and loved and stuff. I love a pretty cover. I think that doing just this is fun for a little bit, but I always like a nice looking cover. And this is nice looking in itself, just the green, put a sticker, slap a sticker on it, all good to go. But I love leather. I love leather, okay? So with that aside, I did a thing. I posted on my Instagram a picture with some different stuff, and I asked if you noticed what I did. I actually de-ringed my pocket Malden. Ow. I just got a splinter under my fingernail. That hurts. Okay. All right. Well, guess you guys are here for everything. So I did it. I don't regret it. I'm happy I did, because I find myself liking pocket size, but for rings, I don't like, because I can't put as much stuff in pocket rings as I would like. And I don't like a 30 millimeter ring either. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. I used to love it. I just don't anymore. I'm actually going to switch this clip out. But, so I went for it, de-ringed my pocket Malden. It's one of my favorite pockets. It holds a lot. And I was able to get a full year of 2022 in this cover. We've got weekly, monthlies, dailies, and notes. So I have everything I could possibly need for 2022 right here. Now, when it comes to journal and like reference and things like that I want to have more room to write, I've decided to go into a Moleskine bullet journal, or just a journal. And actually, as a matter of fact, if you have a TJ Maxx near you, go buy, because they have a ton of Moleskines right now for fairly cheap, and I stocked up. I actually was able to get these limited edition Wizard of Oz Moleskines. I got them. And then I got a pocket size as well. And then I've got these interesting, they're chapters collections, and the back pages actually can rip out, but there's like 6 chapters, and this is a dotted and a ruled. So I'll check those out in another video. But yeah, I'm stocked for the year. My husband was like, these are so nice, I wouldn't even use them at all. And I was like, what's the point of having a journal if you don't use it? I was like, I've learned that over, years of journaling and stuff. It's better for me to use these. They'll have more meaning. Yeah. So I've got those, and this was my favorite one that I found. I wish I could find another one like this, but they only had one, and it was out of its package and damaged a bit. So this will be my reference, like catch-all, just if I need to journal or brain dump, that kind of thing, because I like to have a little more space when I brain dump. Although I did enjoy brain dumping in here. This was nice. I liked filling up the pages. I really love full pages. And I think that's also another reason why I'm drawn to pocket size, is because my handwriting is better when it's smaller. I can write small. It's portable. It's easy to use. I can get a full year in a compact place, and I can fill up my pages. I really love that. So I think I'm going to continue journaling in this until I figure out exactly how I want to set this up, because it's not going to just be like, I don't want it to be just like, okay, so start your page. No, I want to dress it up nicely. So this is something else I'm also going to use. Okay, when it comes to pens, I'll share this in a sec. I decided to use Colettos again because they're thin tipped and I need a color code desperately to use this size, and highlighters, a ruler, some scissors, and my everyday pen, which is the gold one, which is a needlepoint, and then my choice of fountain pen, which is I think this is a fine tip. The green fountain pen that I was using all last week is an extra fine tip. This is a medium tip, which is kind of disappointing because I would have loved to use that. It's new, and I think this is a fine tip too, this white one. I have quite a, this is extra fine tip. This would be the one to go to, I think, but it almost is so fine it tears the page a little. So let's show you what my 2022 is going to look like. So it's very simple right now. I'm sure that I will deck it out, but another thing I've also realized is that with too much distraction, like with my visuals and stuff, it gets on my nerves. I like having pretty things like you saw here, but as you see, they're contained, like they're in their spots. Does that make sense? So I'll probably do the same, but this is what I got going for right now. So I just stuck a pocket, a Target dollar spot pocket on front of this weekly moleskin. Now, I did de-ring this sucker pretty well, I must say. I did put a string in it, but what I did, that string is nearly there to keep my notebooks in for them, keep them pretty stable, and it's not to really have my notebooks, you know, I can't explain it. So anyway, so I made a jump band, a very thin one for the two, put those inside the notebooks, and then use the jump band on the string. And then I tucked the back of this notebook into this pocket. I didn't have to cut anything down. These are both soft covered moleskins. This is a weekly horizontal, and then this is the full year of daily. So that's why it's so thick. It's a full year. I was a little concerned about it at first, but once I once I de-ringed my Malden and stuck that sucker in there, I was so happy. Another concern I had about moving into pocket size and doing things like with these two notebooks was having note pages and things like that, because they really don't have any note pages. There's like one note page in the daily and then like two in the weekly, I think, like two lined, not even that, like two lined note pages in the weekly. And I was like, that's not going to be enough, but I'll make it work or whatever. So I have a ton of these small Toma River paper pocket size notebooks. So this is what I'm using. And I actually am using it for my dailies and weekly, right? My dailies up until next week for right now. They're very thin Toma River paper. I love writing on them. I personally prefer this, but this will do for what I need it to be for 2022. It's to stay simple for lists and things like that. Reference, unless it goes into my large notebook. Reference, it needs to be carried with me. Does that make sense? So I don't have anything in pockets because I'm still like setting this up, trying to figure it out, because I don't think there's still room. It still will be able to close, I know for sure. There's still plenty of room to like put deco and stuff, but I'm not sure exactly what I want that to be. I want it to be functional. I thought about making it my wallet, but I did something else instead. So yes, let's get into it. So I decided to choose a Moleskine Weekly notebook for 2022, and I just cut down some of these grid pages. I've got some more to cut down to add in, but you've got the 2022 overview. I'm using this to track my cycle. It's super important. I'm going to be tipping in another yearly calendar so I can track my off days and things like that. And then you have your monthly. So your monthlies are small, you guys. It's a month per page, but I'm using a series of symbols and color code. And I still, like I said, I can write small, and having a Coletto helps. So I'm able to write in what everything is. So I already have stuff planned out for January, February. There's March and April. Actually, I need to put my husband's birthday there. So I have a symbol for birthday, which is a little orange triangle. For March 2nd. And then I even use a black. There you go. Just like that. April, we got a lot going on in April, a lot of anniversaries and holidays. We got a spring break coming up. The little green money sign is when I get my main check. Anything to do with work. I start swim lessons second week of June. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to try and start the first. I'm going to need a break from school to work. It's just, I'm going to need a break. So there's that. Again, let's do, I'm sorry if y'all hear my cats. They're nuts. They think they need to eat everything. I just fed them something and they think they're hungry again. And they're playing, I think. Okay, guys. All right. Yeah, so you have the full year. They do have an 18-month as well. I thought about that, but nah. Then you have a 2023, which is great. So I'll end up putting whatever needs to go here. This is actually a spot for, it's like holidays. It's a full universal holidays. I think I didn't cover it in here. Let's see. I did cover it, but it's not glued down yet. Yeah, it's like this. It's all these different holidays. There's some useful pages in here. So I'm going to keep some of the pages in this notebook, but then cover up all the ones on the dailies and use those for notes and stuff. And then you've got a time zones spread, which I'm actually going to keep because I have tons of friends all over the world, which is nice. Measures and conversions, I'm going to keep those because I found myself, and then international sizes, my dad and I found ourselves looking for these things recently, so it's good to have. And then under here, I think you've got zip codes or something like that. Let's see. And excuse me breathing hard, and I'm just in a mood. Measures, conversions. Yeah, dialing codes and my places to check. So if you've gone somewhere, you can check it off. Then travel planning, it's the same in both notebooks. And then my extraordinary moments this year, I'm going to keep that page. And then my blank space. I'm going to keep this page because I'm going to deck it out and use it as my vision board. And then you've got this cool map. It says join the dots and use stickers to create a map of your unique mind. So I'm probably going to just change this to note pages or draw or something, use something creative. And then a ruler, which will come in handy, and then a place for your keys and stuff. So I went ahead and put my key, put a sticker of things I wanted to really focus on for 2022. And we've got my keys pretty much for everything. And I put it on a sticky just in case I need to change it, that kind of stuff. And I went ahead and set up the first week in here so you can see how I plan on using it. This is for the week of December 27th, the last week of December. So to January 2nd. So their Saturday and Sundays are split, which, it's okay. I don't really do much on those days except errands, clean, that kind of stuff. You guys are so loud. So I broke it into 3 columns. This little column is where weather is going to go. I like to usually put my weather weekly. I like to see the change. I'll probably put it on my daily too, to be honest with you. Then it's just stuff that's going on, and then day specific tasks. Although I have a daily in here, I still like to plan ahead even my tasks, so that'll go there, so that stays the same. There's a place up here for notes or washi tape, whatever. And then I'm going to be using sticky notes to help me out with this because I want all my tracking in here as well in this notebook. Could y'all stop? Hey, my boys are playing, my boy cats, my young ones, and they're so loud. Hey, Hey, excuse me for a moment. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. Where was I? I hope this is in view and everything. Okay, so I definitely purchased some more Peanuts Planner Co. Post-its because they're already printed and they were on sale. Why not? So these are some old ones that I had. You'll actually see some coffee stain, but whatever. Happy tracking here. This is going to be my positive of the day. And then I've got space underneath to do whatever, like whatever. And then my mood tracker. These came from Cloth and Paper. I'm going to have to find something. I really love this Post-it. I'm going to have to find something similar to this. Or just draw it out, I guess. I like it printed because it's neater. And like I said, I like the structure when it comes to tracking and all that. So I don't mind writing out my tracking. It's not a big deal, but you know, so that's how my weeks are going to look. And that's literally all the pages look just like that. Just like that. So yeah, I got the little slip pocket back here. And then my second notebook is the daily. Again, the front is the same. Now, these monthlies I will be using for content planning. This will be used for, oh wait, that's a great idea. Okay, so no. Okay. So I'll use this for like, since I have two 2022 calendars, I don't have to use a tip in. I'll use one of these as like my tracking for like when I'm out of school, out of school and stuff like that. So I'll use that. And then this monthly is going to be used for content tracking. So whenever I post, that kind of thing. And I have the full year and I like that. Then again, 2023. And then I'm going to cover all the pages with this throughout. Even these. And then it goes right into your dailies. And this is what your dailies look like. You've got the time on the side. It's military time. And you even have, I don't know if anyone mentioned in their videos, there's actually a weather and temperature icon down here. So you can track that there. So I thought that was interesting. And then I guess, and I'm not sure, what does that even mean? I don't even know. I guess I could look at the legend. Stop. These cats are getting on my nerves. Public holiday. Okay, so they have like a little legend here of these icons. So they have these little icon here with like, I guess, abbreviations of different countries and stuff like that to tell you. And then you also have when you turn here, there's also here, you have something else. Is that like daylight savings time? Let's take a look. Get your butt out of my face. New moon, first quarter moon. Yeah. Moon phases. I figured it was a moon phase of some sort. So that's a first quarter moon. Yeah. So you have the whole year just like that. They're all just like that. And you get a bookmark, which I'm actually going to use so I don't end up with too much stuff. And then that's it. And then these stickers came with both of the notebooks. And I'm actually going to use these. I like them. They're nice. Especially these are cool. So I just have those stuck in this pocket. And then again, you saw the notebook in the back. And that's literally my 2022 setup. There's nothing super special about it. I want it to be functional. Is it going to last all year? I'm hoping so, you guys. I really am hoping I can stick with this all year because I want to. And I am going to challenge myself to do so because this has everything for the full year. And that's something that I've always, if you've watched my videos, you probably do know that's something that I've always wanted and talk about is like having all the pages for a full year to look through. But anytime I use rings or other notebooks, I tend to switch around. So I can't actually keep up with that. And at the end of the year, I can't really flip through anything because I usually throw away my ring inserts. I just don't hang on to them, that kind of thing. Let me stick my passwords in here. It's just, I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to share my planning with you guys because it should be a bit easier being in here and straightforward. I just hope that you're along with me on the ride. I'm going to be de-ringing a lot more planners. I'm selling my Gillios. I'm going to keep like one or two. Like, you don't really need all those Gillios I have. I've gotten to that point where I realize I have too much of everything. I guess it's like my third round of having too much, because I've always decluttered, but I build back up with more expensive stuff. Then I realize, okay, I'm not even using the most expensive stuff. If you love stationery planning, it's a vicious cycle to get into the community. You can end up spending a ton of money. I literally have a down payment for a house in planners. So it's time for me to sell those and just move on. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't too exciting, but until next time, you guys, I love you so much. Bye.